Alright, folks, I'm your host, the Dynamite Crypt, and today on Comic Fever, have I got something for you. Today is the X-Men Blue number 9. Spoiler, non-spoiler review. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so first up, as I always do, X-Men Blue number 9 non-spoiler review. Our writer is Cullen Bunn, artists are Corey Smith and Tony Silas. Uh, letterer is Feces Joe Cartamagna. I thought I wrote down the cover artists, but looks like I missed them. Arthur Adams and Peter Steigerwald. The colors were really good. Colors pop. The writing is good. It's as action-packed as the last one. It's a good contrast of new heroes and old villains. Some that you can even say are old villains that have become heroes. Uh, this is kind of a spoiler, but it's really a spoiler of what. If you're reading this comic, this comic series, you should already know. But what I basically mean by that statement is, we recently found out. Well, not recently, but in the beginning of this series, we found out, for instance, that Magneto is the new uh, beneficiary of the um, X-Men. The only um, the only gripe that I have uh, with this book, with this series as a whole, really, is it took some, what I'd say, lame characters and made them cool, and then it took some cool characters and kind of made them a little lame. What I mean by that? Okay, well, Iceman, for instance, he wasn't lame in the traditional sense, but he just wasn't, at least in all the X-Men comics I saw or I've read in the past, he didn't seem to be showcased enough. Um, and in this, he showcased right along with the rest of the team. I mean, he is part of the team. Beast. Uh, Very cool character to begin with. Okay. Um, in my opinion, probably the coolest character on um, the X-Men roster, particularly on the X-Men Blue roster. But now they've taken that character and um, they haven't taken anything away from him, but now they've added like spell casting to his repertoire, I guess you could call it. And I'm not saying that makes him like um, really that lame, but I mean he was cool to begin with. Why did you have to fix him? I mean, is it because you made him into human and you're like regretting that choice, so you gave him an extra power. Uh, See, what I always thought about Beast in particular, and why I like Beast, is because he was the walking embodiment of an oxymoron. Uh, for those too young to know what that means, basically he was the he was the smart jock. Oxymoron is just it's two words that don't go together. Um, but he was the smart jock. You know, he was super intelligent and he just knew everything. The original, and that was the original Beast, you know. And this Beast has a lot of that, but you know they went and added spell casting to him. Why? Anyway, uh, that's where I leave you on my non-spoiler review. Hopefully you like it. Uh, Please, if you haven't, subscribe. Uh, please comment. You know I love your comments. I try to talk to you as much as I can. I know I don't always catch your comments, but I apologize. I do. But those of you who are leaving at this moment, as I say at the end of all my videos, I'll see you on the other side. Now, hopefully, I've kept some of you. Because now we go into my favorite territory, the spoiler territory. X-Men Blue, number 9. Spoiler review. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into cast of characters first. So we know what we're dealing with. Well, we've got the main X-Men roster. We've got Marvel Girl, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Scott Summers, Angel, Warren Worthington, third, Beast, Hank McCoy, Iceman, Bobby Drake, and Jimmy Hudson. The only one that doesn't have a um, code name yet. That's a little disappointing. Anyway, we open up basically where we left off in the last book, raiding the Capitol building of Utopia and New Tyon. Also, with some narration on how when you're an X-Men, raiding castles is what you do. Narration continues. This particular castle is supposed to be the epicenter of a new land for mutants. And that is supposed to be a good thing, right? We go to the cell with Iceman, Angel, and Beast. The narration continues. Well, it's until people, including mutants, have an opposing opinion. Then they are jailed for their troubles. Then to a scene of Briar Raleigh making tea. Narration continues on. That's how we got involved in this little fiasco. It's a rescue mission. Of course, that means that eventually this is going to get us in direct confrontation with Emma Frost. The last scene is of Emma Frost mind controlling Cyclops. The narration says, and that stinks. She's a tricky one, no telling what kind of man eating rabbit she'll pull out of her hat. The next page, Magneto's daughter Polaris just joining action. Jean says to Jimmy, "That's Polaris, Magneto's daughter." Jimmy says, "Magneto has kids?" Jean responds, "Not as many as he used to." A close-up on Polaris. Narration says, "And it looks like she's on our side." A close-up on Havoc. So yay for Daddy's little mistress of magnetism. The next page, Polaris shooting at Havoc. Havoc goes launched back by Polaris' beams of energy. Polaris says, "Alex, this isn't you. siding with Emma, attacking the X-Men. This is not you. You were close. We were close once. I'm begging you. Stop fighting. A close up of Polaris. A look of heartbreak on her face. Please stop fighting. Havoc on the ground, hunched over, fist clenched, preparing to deliver his own energy blast. Lorna, you haven't changed. Mm, uh, you haven't known me for a long time. Who the hell are you to say I've changed? Polaris, Jimmy, and Jean as she is blasting away at Havoc again. Jean, Jimmy, go find your friends. I'll hold Havoc off. The next page, Jimmy says, about to do a side blast of her own. We can help her. I can shut down Havoc. Jimmy says, yeah, maybe, but I think Polaris has this. Besides, the X-Men need us. A close-up of Polaris. I told you to go. Polaris, Polaris lifts Jean and Jimmy up in the air, and Jean says, whoa. Jimmy says, yeah, okay. Magneto's daughter. Now I see the resemblance. We see Polaris and Havoc training shot for shot. Havoc says, you're the one who's changed, Lorna. Going up against your own people, trying to destroy what we are trying to do here. All those emotional breakdowns finally took their toll on you over the years, huh? Hate to see you like this. A close up of Polaris. Alright, Alex, you want to play dirty? I've been holding back on you for old time's sake. But that silliness stops right now. The next page, Jimmy and Jean looking for the others. They run across more guards, and Jimmy says, we're close. I've got a scent. Jean says, right, I got a Psylocke on them. First, we have to knock out these heavily armed guards. Then, let's go. A close up of the guards shooting at the X-Men. Then, a back to Jean and Jimmy. Jimmy says, I may not remember the good old days. Jimmy's claws out, jumping at the guard, says, but this is how they must have been. One of the guards says, oh crap, he's got claws. A close up of Jean in a pink aura. The guards, my spleen. I surrender, I surrender. Jean sending out a psychic message. Beast, can you hear me? Get ready. The next page, Beast, Angel, and Iceman in the cell. Beast thinks back to Jean. We are on our way. Beast to himself, think upon revenge and cease to weep. With a pink glow around them, the collars that had bound the X-Men, its powers, fall off. Iceman turns into his completely ice form. Angel spreads his fiery wings. Iceman says, fire and ice, baby. Sounds like the name of a schmaltzy buddy cop show. Once we leave this horrible place of horribleness, no joke, he actually says this, we're getting an agent. Iceman, Beast, and Angel sit and wait, and claws can be seen shredding through the wall. Next page, in the doorway of the makeshift door they have just made into the cell where Beast, Angel, and Iceman are being held. Jean says, hey guys, miss us? Walking further into the room, Jean continues, not that I'm glad to see all of you guys, but where's Briar? Scott? Beast replies, where do you think he is? Jean says, alright, great. Bobby? Bobby turns into some sort of snow beast. Bobby, cracking his knuckles, says, way ahead of you, Jean. Next, all the X-Men, except Cyclops, walk out of the cell, and Jimmy says, let's go save Cyclops from his ex. The next page, Polaris has Havoc crashing into the walls. She says, I'll let you in on a little secret. You always said between me and my dad that I was the weakest of the two of us. But now I'm thinking, you're going to want to rethink that. The X-Men barreling their way through more guards, more of the team back together. Jean says, I am not picking up any of Cyclops' thought patterns. That means he's masked, or Jimmy interrupts her and says, Scott's alive. They find Briar's room. Jean says, Briar. Briar responds, well, it's about time. All this luxury and comfort was starting to chafe. Jean says, Scott, I am sensing him somewhere nearby. The next page, the Blackbird, aka Danger, still outside, taking on both Meryl and Wolfsbane. Wolfsbane in her multi-form. Danger says, I was programmed to challenge the X-Men at their best. And you, Meryl, never really ranked, did you? I'm afraid your best efforts, if this can be really classified as your best, isn't going to be good enough. Back to the X-Men. A heat blast erupts and tosses them back, then back out to Danger. Danger says, Rain Sinclair Wolfsbane, it appears that your powers have been altered since I cataloged them. I'll be sure to upgrade my files on you as approaching adequate. Back to the X-Men, all blown back by that force beam. Beast getting up. Whoa, what was that? Jean, also getting up, looking in the direction of the beam, says, oh no. The next page, Cyclops and Emma standing side by side. Cyclops with beams shooting all over the place from his eyes. Emma says, I'll give you little ragamuffins some time to wallow in your astonishment. Then you will surrender, or I will do away with you in a manner most final. Each man each X-Men in astonishment. Jean says, Scott. Beast says, stars and garters. Iceman says, not cool. Angel says, come on, Scott, you can fight this. This, whatever it is. Lastly, Jimmy says, well, this is gonna suck. They all charge at Emma and Cyclops at once. Beast says, Emma's controlling Zorn and Scott. I think I might be able to break her hold on them using a form of an exorcism. A close-up of Emma. Emma points at the X-Men and says to Beast, oh, you poor dear, you can't break hold on them on your you can't break my hold on them on your best day. Wielding magic means you're using your mind to warp primal forces. Beast wrenches back in pain, screams, yeah. Emma stands in front of him, saying, good luck with that. A blast from Cyclops hits the other X-Men, bowling them over again. Iceman and Briar shielding from Zorn. Iceman says, Zorn, I thought you were some sort of pacifist good guy. Yow, this doesn't feel so pacifistic. The next page, Emma says, standing over fallen Iceman, you lost the minute you walked into New Tion. Soon the battle will be completely over, and you will see things my way. Angel takes on Zorn. Angel says, hey Zorn, I thought that metal skull of yours protected you from being controlled. Do you even have a solid brain in that thing? Cyclops readies his beams again. Jean stands in front of him and says, Scott, close up on her eyes, and they go pink. She then says, enough. Jean, inside the mindscape of Cyclops, she begins to speak to him. Emma's messing with your mind. I don't know what, but Emma's got something hoisting her powers, magnifying them. I can't fight this alone. I need your help. Fight Scott. Jean finally finds the real Cyclops inside this world. Goes to him, touches him on the shoulder, and says, she's got you attacking your friends. You see that, right? You recognize us, don't you? It's me, Scott. It's... Cyclops interrupts and says, no, you can't be real. You're an illusion. You can't be Jean. Close up on Jean's face, hurt by Cyclops' words. My Jean is dead, Cyclops continued. And I'm alive, aren't I? Scott readies his beams for another blast, this time pointed at Anima. One has to assume. Jean in the background says, "That's right." The next page, Emma, furious at what's going on, says, "You're going to live again, darling. My memory of you will bring you back to us. I promise. I also promise that Jean will not stop us this time." Jean and Emma stare each other down, Cyclops in the middle. Jean says, "You're rewriting his whole personality. You're turning him into whatever idealized version of him you have going on in that head of yours." Emma replies, "That's right. Keep climbing that tower of yours. It'll be all the easier to knock you down. After all, for years, you have changed thoughts of all those around you. For as long as I've known you." Emma does something to Cyclops. He falls, back in pain. Jean watching over. Emma says, "I am turning him into the man he's meant to be. The man that mutant kind needs him to be." Emma, looking sorrowful, says, "The man that I need him to be." Jean, angry but having pity for Emma, says, "Oh, Emma, I knew you were messed up, but even you have to see how wrong this is." The next page, Jean continues, "I know you loved him, Emma, but this isn't your Cyclops. I liked him. He was a good man. But he's gone, and I am sorry for that." Emma, reeling in pain from Jean's psychic attacks. Jean says, "You got to let him go." Emma responds, "No." Jean, looking more determined, staring down Emma, "I'm not going to let you take him. And you're not so lost that you can't see how messed up this is. Maybe this isn't the man you want him to be now, but he might be someday." Soren, with his head on his head, says, her concentration breaking, her hold on me." Emma bent over, her eyes filled with hate, looking in Jean's and Cyclops. Emma says, "Lord, I loathe you, Jean." The next page, Cyclops lets rip one of his eye beams. Jean yells to Emma, "Emma, you might want to change into your diamond form." Emma morphs into her diamond form. The next start, the X-Men start to leave, and Emma says, "Just because I let you slip control for now doesn't mean I'm going to let you just waltz right out of here. You're still enemies of the state." Emma, still in her diamond form, says to Zorn, "Zorn." Zorn says, "No, Miss Emma. I know this moment is fleeting, but as of right now, I am free of you. And with this free will, I refuse you as I see fit." Uh, the group walking out, Iceman says, "Up ahead, guys." B says, "Yeah, I see him." We see the band of mutants that are working for Emma Frost and some guards. The next page, the X-Men charge at this group. B says, "I would so love to chat to but this about this secondary mutation. Perhaps, though, another time would be more prudent." Punching Treebeard, Iceman says, "Out of the way, Treebeard." The group defeated, the X-Men walking away. Firestar reaches out as if she is reaching out to a lover. Angel says, "Sorry, Firestar. Even though you're hot in more ways than one, it just would never work out between us." The X-Men walking outside, Polaris and Danger watching. Danger says, "The X-Men have managed to escape their captors." Polaris says, "You owe me $10, Danger." The X-Men get in the back where uh, Danger says, "I'll pay you back later." The X-Men get in the Blackbird and take off. Iceman says, "So Magneto sent the two of you to babysit. The next page, X-Men's sitting safely in the back of Blackbird. X-Men continues his questions. So all this time, the Blackbird was the danger. You've been flying around in your stomach, or whatever. The Blackbird responds, "No, Iceman, I do not have a stomach as you understand it. And yes, Magneto sent Polaris and me to babysit you." Jean and Scott, Jean says to Scott, "You alright, Scott? You with us right now?" Scott says, "Yeah, but this, how you're communicating with me, it's different." Jean says, "Yeah, I know, it's more effortless. The White Queen had something magnifying her power, some sort of psychic amplifier. When we were in the White Queen's side space, I think some of it bled out, making our connection permanent." Cyclops replies, You mean we can always read each other's thoughts?" This is gonna get awkward. Beast, talking to Polaris, says, "Why would Magneto have danger watch over us secretly? And why would he not tell us his own daughter was keeping tabs on us?" Polaris says, "We are just here to pull your fat from the fire. You understand? We're your teachers now." Jean and Scott together, psychically. Teachers? The next page, Annamite Mountain, Vietnam. Hydra Supreme says, "I don't like these reports I'm getting out of New Tyon, Magneto. I thought we had an understanding." Magneto responds, "I have honored our agreement, Captain. The X-Men, they are acting without sanction. I can't be held responsible for what they do." Hydra Supreme says, "I find that hard to believe. This isn't what we talked about. You were going into retirement." Close up on Hydra Supreme, "And I wasn't going to eliminate you." Hydra and Magneto standing face to face. "Captain, if you could have accomplished that, we wouldn't have struck up a bargain in the first place." Close up on Magneto. "Take care with your threats, Captain. For if the X-Men were acting in accordance to my will, I would hate to take their attention off Newtyon and direct it towards the blasphemy we call Hydra's America." The next page, underneath Utopia, Havoc and Emma walking down a flight of stairs. "And what about Zorn?" Havoc asks Emma. Emma responds, "He is under my control, although my hold on him is fractured at best. Even with the cosmic cube fragment, I can keep him reined in for so long." Close up of Havoc and Emma. Emma continues, "Not that it matters, but New Tyon is on borrowed time. We both know it. Soon it will be as ruined as the Atlantean spear that keeps Utopia afloat. Two shadowy figures in the darkness. One speaks. It's all coming apart, yes, but it gave us what we needed for the time being. The mutant homeland has served its purpose." The shadow figures come into focus, and we see it is Miss Sinister and Bastion. Bastion says, "We have enough to test our findings. Now, we move on to phase 2. We take Mother Veen global." Alright, folks. I am your host, Dynamite Crypt. This has been X-Men Blue number 9. I hope you liked my reviews. I hope you liked both my reviews. Um, I hope you like the way I did this one. I'm trying to do it in a more flowing way so it doesn't sound like I'm going next panel, next panel, next panel. I'm trying to do it more eloquently, I guess you could say. Anyway, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If if you just want to give me a like, whatever. But if you want to comment, go ahead and comment. I'll try to get to you. Um, so anyway, and again, I hope you're enjoying all this. So, as I say at the end of all these, I'll see you on the other side.